when you got someone who literally works their ass off and has like the brain of a, I'm not gonna say a Peyton Manning because that obviously Peyton Manning's the smartest to ever play this game with right
Hmm.
there with Tom Brady, but like Bo Nix is like kind of on that level, like coming into his career, like. Welcome back to another episode of the Broncos Avenue podcast. I'm your host, Amir Farrell, with my co-host, Evan Petruk. The Denver Broncos defensive back room just dodged a massive bullet. Plus, these two NFC opponents had some interesting things to say about our sweet, glorious, scrumptious, majestic, magnificent king, Bo Nix. Evan, how are you doing, brother? Everything
Sorry.
about what I just said is very normal. I don't know what your reaction is.
No, that's I was sorry. You just put Bo Nix into my head, and I just had to have a
Rose
sigh
started
of
to
relief
see
there.
butterflies and rainbows.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm good, man. Steady at work and just counting down the days till football starts. So,
Yeah, I seen
isn't there like
the.
a game at the end of the month or something like that, like the Chargers and the
No way.
Bears? I think. Yeah, it's like the Hall of Fame game.
At the end of July?
Yeah,
There's no way.
Thursday, July 31st.
Wow. Okay. Wow, boys, we got football this month. No way.
Mm-hmm.
Excited for that. I mean, it's something. Those Hall of Fame games are usually a snooze fest, but
Mm-hmm.
it's football. It's live football, man. So, and then we got what is it? The scrimmages or whatever with the joint practices with the Niners that I'll be looking forward to. Those we're two of the most physical football teams in the league. Like, there's 100% going to be at least three scraps for sure. Like, there's going to be some fighting going on, I would assume.
I mean, anything to cover, anything to watch, any entertainment at all. Please, someone save me.
Yeah, looking forward to the football coming up. But let's go ahead and jump into this news with the Broncos DB room. Denver Broncos safety PJ Locke, who is now the team's backup after signing Talanoa Hufanga, announced on his YouTube channel that he underwent spinal surgery right after Denver's postseason loss in Buffalo. In the video, Locke spoke a lot about the long recovery process and how he thought he was never going to get better at some points during his rehab. However, after 6 months, Locke has made some significant strides in his recovery and said, quote, I feel like it's just been a miracle. I feel like it's been a breakthrough that I've been praying for. He said he feels honest. I read somewhere that he feels better now than he did at any point in his career, which is, I mean, you typically hear guys say that after injuries, but like after you had a spinal surgery, like that's crazy. I'm not too familiar with how those surgeries go and how long the recovery process is and everything, but the fact that he's already doing this well after a surgery like that, 6 months after, I mean, it's pretty good news to hear. It sounds like the Broncos dodged a insane bullet.
Yeah, no. As someone with personal injuries, I actually hurt myself deadlifting, warming up for a deadlift PR. So, guys, don't deadlift; it's not worth it. It really messed me up. But I have some minor disc damage in my back. But
Fuck.
relating to the problem with the spinal fusion, my cousin broke his neck. He hit a moose, and he had spinal fusion surgery, and it is a I can't believe that he's playing football again. It is like, I mean, his was his neck, not his. I think what was it
Yeah.
is like C12, so that's like lower in his back. His was
Mm.
a C1 and a C3, so it's like a little bit different. But he had spinal fusion, and like you lose height, and it's like mobility, and
Yeah.
I can't believe that he's still playing football. And the fact that he's probably been dealing with this problem for most of his career, and it just progressively got worse and worse, because that's usually how it goes with these spine injuries. Props to him. I knew that he was dealing with some injury, like he was wearing the club last year a lot, but I didn't know that it was that bad. So just like the fact that he played the season with that injury is
True.
just amazing, man. Like,
You got a
as
lot of
someone
shit
with
last
back
year.
problems, yeah, I can't believe it. Like, I'm not saying I was like super hard on him, because I knew that he was dealing with some sort of injury, but like just the fact that he was playing through that, like, it just shows the kind of guy, man. Like, and clearly Denver's known about this, and it just wasn't public, because they made the big splash on Talanoa Hufanga. I'm not saying that it's not an upgrade, because obviously putting an all-pro safety on your lineup is an upgrade.
Yeah.
No offense to PJ Locke, but just the fact that he's playing, and like he can still contribute if his recovery process goes smooth all the way and he's playing games and he's feeling good still. I mean, obviously I don't want the guy to get paralyzed or anything because of some you know injury because he rushed his recovery process. But I just think it's like extremely admirable that he's like playing through this, man. I can't believe it, honestly. It's a crazy injury to play through, and like he's a trailblazer for, you know, spinal fusion surgery. I'm sure a bunch of NFL guys have disc problems in their spine and their back, and I just think it's very admirable and just like such a leap of faith for him, and risking his career, you know, so that he can feel better and like try this, you know, sports medicine that no one's done before. I think it's very, very cool.
Yeah, he's been through a lot in his career, dude. A lot of it. I think more adversity, honestly, than probably any player on this team. He's been cut from other teams, the Steelers. I remember we've had him on the show twice, and he's just literally the most positive dude. Like he's genuinely like probably the best, the nicest player I've ever spoken to. And he's told us stories about how he nearly went to the XFL, and like the tablet died right before he almost, because when they do their contracts, they have to like go there and like sign on this like tablet or whatever, showing basically like agreeing that they once they sign with the XFL, there's no going back for that whole season. They have to stay with the XFL until the season's up, and then you can start looking with your agent with other teams potentially signing. The tablet died right before he signed his thing. Next thing you know, he gets a call from George Payton and the Broncos coaching staff. Signs, has a tryout here, comes, has a great tryout. Now has been here ever since. Was mentored under Justin Simmons, Kareem Jackson. He's done nothing but defend Kareem Jackson in his time here, and Justin Simmons as well. He's just he's a class act, man. And I remember going back to the injury thing. He told a story on our podcast where he had to like take a bus all the way from like Denver to Detroit for the Lions game. Unfortunately, we got absolutely just demolished, decimated in that game. But he was dealing with like some type of back issue during that week prior to that game, so he wasn't able to fly. So like the fact that he literally got his ass on that bus with his either fiance or wife, excuse me, and his child on that bus, and they went all the way there and then all the way back, and he still played. Like damn, like he's clearly got some. He's clearly he's a warrior, man.
Yeah, he's a driven person for sure. Yeah, no, he seems like a great dude, and unfortunately for me, I wasn't on the pod when you guys interviewed him, but I remember watching the interview, and yeah, he seems like
Yeah.
a great, solid dude, very down to earth guy. So I just think, you know, as obviously I'm not an athlete anymore, but as someone that understands getting injured playing sports, like, and just the fact that you take this leap of faith on this surgery, man, like it just, wow, like what a character, like that takes balls, man.
Yeah. And I'm glad he got everything cleared up and he feels better than ever. He deserves it more
Yeah,
than anybody.
for sure.
And I still was, I remember like after the Bills game, like seeing so much shit about him on social media, and even
Yeah.
here when we did that, like, we did like the Twitch stream where I had a bunch of people like join, and it was constant like, we need to replace PJ Locke. And I still feel like he's a starting caliber safety in this league. I think and especially with this news that came out, like that clearly impacts the way that you play. And
Yeah, and the way that you even think about it too. Like I'm not gonna lie, like I would get pissed off too. Like, man, PJ, what were you doing there? But I knew he was dealing with injuries. Like even the club, like he dropped an interception. Oh, it's because of the club. Like you can't really knock a guy for playing with half a hand. But
yeah.
yeah, just yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm hoping nothing but the best for him and his family, and hope he continues to be blessed. Next, I want to jump into some Bo Nix quotes. Wasn't quotes from him; it was actually from two NFC players. Defensive end Jordan Birch of the Arizona Cardinals had an interview with Jeff Legwold of ESPN and spoke about his former Oregon teammate Bo Nix and said he's like another coach. He's serious all the time. He's a great leader. I wasn't surprised at all by anything he did last year. Just the way he carries himself. If he gets a chance, he'll do whatever it takes to make the most of it for everybody. And then Buccaneers wide receiver Tez Johnson, adopted brother of Nick, said, "I've seen it since I was adopted, since I've known him. He prepared like he was in the league long before he was in the league. He'll prepare like he's in the Super Bowl every week. He will always look at how he plays and look at what defenses will do against him. He's not afraid. He never will be to look at what he needs to do, even if it's uncomfortable." I thought those are two really good quotes, just from two players that are not even, obviously they're former teammates of his, so they're going to speak highly of him. But even them speaking that clearly highly of him right now speaks to how much his character and leadership has rubbed off on them, and obviously they're going to carry that on with their teams, and it just shows all the more like what makes Bo Nix such a not only great player for this team, but a great person for our locker room.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like Bo Nix is like just the fact that he's a quarterback that has that trait where it's almost like a forget about it. It's like golfers have to have this trait where it's like, you have a bad stroke or whatever, and you're sitting there and you don't let it get into your head. Like he's not scared to take shots after throwing an interception, and he
Yeah,
treats every game and every day like it's the Super Bowl preparation, and every play like it's for the Super Bowl. Like just having that and the drive and just the will to win and want to win games, and the genes to not have not have outside noise affect you. I think that that's just the most beneficial attribute to have as a quarterback. Not no knock on like guys like Jameis Winston, Will Levis, and stuff like that, but it seems like it gets in their own heads when they throw interceptions, and I don't think Bo's like that at all. And I think that it's obviously you can have all the arm talent and athletic ability in the world, but if you're making terrible decisions, you're not going to be a good quarterback in the NFL. Look at Anthony Richardson, right? Like he's the most inconsistent thrower of the football, but he's got so much raw talent. Like hard work and dedication beats talent when
exactly.
talent doesn't work hard, right?
Yeah, like that's one thing I will always take a Bo Nix prospect over an Anthony Richardson prospect because you can sit here and rave all day about their potential, their raw ability. I hate that those two words right there. I get it, but like when you got someone who literally works their ass off and has like the brain of a, I'm not gonna say a Peyton Manning because that obviously Peyton Manning's the smartest to ever play this game with right
Mm-hmm.
there with Tom Brady, but like Bo Nix is like kind of on that level, like coming into his career. Like Peyton Manning threw interceptions beginning of his career and ended up learning from those mistakes, getting better, and he's highly spoken of because of his intelligence and his understanding of the game. He was never one of those guys that like you said, "Oh my God, he's got a cannon for an arm. He's got the strongest arm of all time." Nothing like that. Like he just knew how to play the game right. He knew how to outsmart defenses, and you know how to work harder than them. And that's something Broncos quarterback room has been missing for the last 7-8 years, and we finally have that in Nix.
Yeah, no, it's just the leadership ability, the ability to read the defense, understanding the game like a coach. It's, I think,
Yeah.
a way to put it. Like, obviously, he's not a coach. He's young and he's playing in the NFL, but just I think that's one of the reasons why Sean Payton was so drawn to Bo Nix is because they both have such great offensive minds and they're just like they bleed football. Like I bet you Bo Nix is just thinking of plays, and I don't understand how you're that smart and you're not thinking about it all the time. From my point of view, like if I want to be good at something, I'm always thinking about it. So I think that just having that guy, it just like I'm so appreciative, man. Like I was so patient. Like everyone was, man. Everyone was so patient for the years and years of hardships, and just the fact that we got such a good person and a good smart player in Bo Nix. It makes it all worth it, man. Like I wouldn't do it any other way now, knowing that if I had to sit through 9 years of pain again just to get Bo Nix, I would do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, we praise Bo Nix so much and speak highly of his potential and his current skill set. Um, and you hear these terms like sophomore slump. Obviously, his upcoming season is his second year. What are some things you're hoping to see Nix improve this upcoming season? Because we could rave about him all day, but there are things that every player can improve in. Obviously, that's the biggest question, unfortunately, with quarterbacks going to year two. Always the big question, and I feel like a lot of NFL fans are always looking for any way to say this guy's gonna have a sophomore slump, this guy's gonna have more of a sophomore slump, and we've even had these talks off air, like who's the most likely to have a sophomore slump amongst the 2024 quarterback class. What are some things you're hoping to see him improve upon in his game in order to avoid that title?
Obviously, the easy one to say is interceptions, but honestly, man, if he throws the same amount of interceptions as he did last year, I honestly don't care. I think that the big thing for me is having a higher completion percentage. If he had the same amount of targets, but or same amount of passing attempts, but a higher completion percentage and the same amount of interceptions, I would be more happy than if he had less of a completion percentage but less interceptions. I think that making smart on time throws just continuing to improve on that because he's really good at that. But there was some missed throws. The one I'm thinking of that was a bad one was against the Saints. I don't know why
Yeah.
it's coming into my head, but there was a bad one. I can't even remember who he was throwing it to. It's that
Yeah, it was like
irrelevant. But
right in between Troy
yeah,
Franklin and Kroll, right?
yeah, something like that. Yeah, because Kroll was down low and Franklin was deep, and he threw it in between them. Like just stuff like that. But I feel like saying it's easy to say, oh, I want him to throw less interceptions, but then he's not taking as many shots. Maybe he's taking better shots, but so obviously having less interceptions would be beneficial. But I just don't want him to go, hey, I threw too many interceptions. I'm not going to take as many long shot deep throws that trying to make a play. You know what I mean? Like I don't want him to just take that out of his game because he's worried about throwing interceptions. So I'm fine with interceptions if he's taking shots. Like obviously if he makes a terrible like Butterfingers slips pass, throws it way over a receiver's head, throwing a drag and it gets picked off by a safety, that's different. But like if he's throwing an interception on like a deep post that a safety makes a really good play on, I'm not going to be complaining about that, right? It's just I like keeping the mistakes to a minimum and having a very, very good completion percentage is the biggest benefit to me. I think that's the biggest improvement that we are going to see now that he's more mature and he's been in the league for a year.
Yeah, two things I'm looking for: deep ball consistency. I think as a rookie, you're not going to hit all those, obviously, and even some of them he had him on the money, and Troy Franklin just simply ball slipped right through his hands. And they'll get better with that stuff, man. They're both literally rookies. I don't think anybody's expecting them to be Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase right away. And then read progressions. I think he did really well in that area for a rookie quarterback, but I do think it could be better. Just like even standing inside the pocket, like once that first or second read isn't open, like sometimes I did see him like panic a little bit and try to like escape a clean pocket, whereas he could have maybe hung in there or even taken a running lane instead. So those are little things I'm looking forward to seeing him improve this season. Like we said, man, he has really good work ethic that I know he's going to improve on those things. Whether it's going to be year 2, year 3, he's going to be one of those quarterbacks I feel that gets better like every year, like Drew Brees. I know we
Yeah.
use that comparison a lot, but
I found that the problem with Bo Nix how you're saying when he's going through his reads is I know I just was talking about how he doesn't let stuff get to his head, but I feel like it was almost like after that when he hurt his ribs,
mm,
um, it was like his ribs in his back or whatever. When he got hit in the Raiders game, I found that once he would get hit once, take a good sack or something like that,
yeah.
he would he'd kind of rush his reads. So I don't know if it was necessarily him panicking or just the fact that he would force the ball in because he didn't want to take a hit. I'm not saying that you know
I mean,
it's
those injuries
a
are
bad
rough.
thing, but like he was playing with an injury, so I can definitely see him. Obviously early in the season it was hard, like in the Seahawks games, Steelers games, because he's just a rookie. It's his first and second games in the NFL. I found he got better, and then the injury, it kind of dipped, but it wasn't dipping. It was like dipping after he would get hit. So I think that now that he's playing healthy, obviously you're not going to be at 100% the whole year, but I think it's definitely his throws on the money and his, like you said, his read progressions. I almost said that one. His read progressions are going to be huge improvements for him this year. I think that he, as someone as smart as he is, there's no way he's not going to realize like, hey,
Yeah.
these are two things I can really improve on, and it's something that you can work on. It's not like it's like you have to get faster or anything like that. It's not God given talent. It's something that you can really work on and really train your mind to do.
Dude, I hate mentioning these two words because it's just like brings up PTSD. But I look to guys like Russell Wilson and really sit there and be like, how is his like read progressions that bad and he just never improved on it? Like bro, I'm seriously like trying to sit here and think like how is it seriously like the same from his rookie year all the way till now?
It's because he can't read the middle of the field. So if you're
True.
scheming anything to go on a crosser, you have to skip progressions because if you can't see over the field, you're going 1 to 4 or whoever's on the outside. Like he could literally only run like smash concepts and like and fades. Like his problem was he couldn't see over the middle of the field. Now I mean he's short. He has a I'm not gonna lie, Russ, very talented arm. Like he's
Yeah.
a gifted thrower. But the reason why him and Sean Payton didn't work is because Sean Payton's like, I'm giving you the play, execute this play exactly how it's supposed to go, and he's scheming guys open. He's not. It's not doing some loop-de-loops. Like, obviously, Russ had some amazing plays. The one that's coming to my mind against Buffalo, that where he spun around 2 times
They're
in the
all off
pocket. And
script.
yeah, it's all off script. His plays, even with Seattle, it's all off script, rolling out, scrambling. Like, you can't and the fact that he came here, he was what, 32, 33 when he signed here? How
Yeah.
old was he?
Some,
Yeah.
yeah.
So he's going against these young, hungry pass rushers that are twice his speed and his weight and his height. And it just doesn't work when you're getting older, that you can't outrun these guys anymore. And when you're in a system like Sean Payton, like the thing with Drew Brees was so good because he followed plays to a T. Like, he was so elite as his progressions and knowing where his guys were going to be. Practice, 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 execute. I'm assuming that's how all of Drew Brees.
Wasn't he like the
I'm
same
assuming it was in
height?
his brain. Yeah, he was the same height, but I don't know whether Russ had like needed LASIK or something like that. But I think Drew Brees is actually shorter than Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
But
He's like one
just
of
the
the
fact that
shortest quarterbacks.
but the thing is he's not relying on he's saying, hey, just because I'm short, if I execute with my guys and I know exactly where they're going to be, I could do it with my eyes closed. That's how talented Drew Brees was. And that's why Sean Payton and Drew Brees work so good together. And that's exactly why Bo Nix and Sean Payton work good together, because Sean Payton trusts in Bo Nix and Bo Nix trusts in Sean Payton. Neither of them trusted each other when Russ was here.
Kyler Murray's 5'10", and his reads look way better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like I hate to call someone's work ethic. I feel like he could have been I feel like he could have worked harder to improve those things. Just in my
All about the
opinion.
money, man. I told you.
Yeah. I seriously, still to this day, I don't get how so many Broncos fans defended and wanted him back in 2023.
And trade Sean Payton. Like, oh man,
Yeah.
like I remember people calling for Sean Payton's head, and they're like, "Why would you get rid of Russ?" It's like,
They're all glazing Bo Nix
did you
now
guys
too.
watch the Broncos games? Like, as someone that watched every single snap of every single Broncos game for the last, I don't even know how many years, like just watching it, it's like I got headaches, and it wasn't even just the fact that we were losing games. It was like, what is he thinking? And easy to say from my couch, but like, it's not. It's like, and then you get Sean Payton screaming at him, like, read the fucking play and run the play, and Russ is just sitting there just ignoring him. It's like, dog, you're getting paid a shit ton of money. Just run the playbook as it's ran. Like, be a system quarterback. Like, you're 33, you don't have to be a superhero. Run the damn plays how they're schemed up. He's one of the greatest offensive minds of the game has ever seen. I don't think that's a debate. You know, people can discredit his character and call him a bully or whatever, but I mean, I always worked better with coaches that were hard on me and people that were hard on me, man. Like, it just makes you work harder, and that's
Everybody
the thing.
does.
Yeah, and it's just like Russ never, especially if you had the passion and someone's pushing you, like, that's not good enough, and someone's pushing you and you have the passion, you want to be better, but he clearly didn't want to be better because he's getting pushed and he's just shrugging it off. He's like, yeah, I got my paycheck. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a really interesting argument.
Yeah.
I think
People are gonna come at me like I'm being so mean to Russ, but like I couldn't, like, I can't understand how you can ask for that much money and be so, like, have such a lack of passion for the game as he did. Like, he didn't give two
it's so
shits,
weird
man.
too, because like all you see on his social media is him constantly. I feel like he low-key cares more about the social media presence than the actual, like,
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe
because it
I
generates
don't
him
know.
it gets him contracts for doing advertisements. The
Yeah.
Danger Witch,
Some people are
Mr. Unlimited.
I can see it.
Like,
Some people are gonna fucking hate this, but it's just, this is an honest pod. Like, we're not gonna sugarcoat anything.
mhm.
I really sit there and think about it sometimes. Like, and I know everyone thinks about it too. I'm just gonna be the one that actually comes and says it, like, publicly. Like, I just feel like the more I think about it, like, I don't think he's as hard of a worker as he's made out to be by the
No, he's
public.
not. He's not. He's most definitely not.
Because
I don't.
we were just talking about Bo Nix. Like, when you actually put in the work, like, it shows on film. Like, I don't give a shit if you're 5'3". I guarantee you a 5'3" version of Russell Wilson who worked 2 times harder, at least 2 times harder than him, would have been more successful than 2022 Russell Wilson.
Mhm.
At him, he's
Couldn't
at what,
agree
five
more
foot
with
ten.
you, bro.
Yeah, actually, I don't. I don't get it, man. But let us know what you guys think about all that Russell Wilson stuff. I'll be interested to see. Obviously, it's later in the pod, so I wonder who actually stays to the end and what your guys' thoughts on that is. And then everything we talked about, Bo Nix and PJ Locke. But I'm your host, Amir Farrell, co-host Evan Petruk. See you guys in the next one. Peace out, everybody.